Close of the Vietnam War. The fall of Saigon historically put an end to that conflict. Welcome back to America's Forum. 58,000 American troops killed, and as the 40th anniversary approaches, several Vietnam vets in our nation are still dealing with the effects.
You know, we all took a bullet over there. Some of us just didn't know it. We're all going to die from it, you know, eventually, so a lot of us will.
Dan Stenvold, a Vietnam vet, discussing American use of Agent Orange, a chemical used to burn away jungle foliage. At the time, it was touted as a success, but it also caused serious health problems for troops exposed to it. And now, 4 decades later, a lot of veterans are still waiting for help from our government. Joining us with more on this story, Vietnam veteran Robert Gray. Robert joins us by phone. And Robert, we welcome you to America's Forum. You're very gracious to spend some time with us, sir.
Thank you for having me.
Robert, I understand you served in the Navy and were exposed to Agent Orange, but you've been denied disability claims thus far. Why?
Because I had no boots on the ground, they're saying that I never touched land.
So you and other naval, those serving in the Navy may have been exposed to it, but unlike the footage of the infantry men that our audience now sees, because you weren't a part of the infantry, you've thus far not received any benefits.
Yes, sir.
But I imagine you and other sailors and Navy personnel are trying to change that. Do you feel hopeful about getting this changed?
I believe so. With it's time. I think, you know, there's just too much science, I think, for that goes that we were exposed.
And as our audience sees scenes from aircraft carriers, it is worth noting there was a significant riverboat presence or swift boat presence on the rivers and in the deltas of Vietnam. Robert, we thank you for your personal perspective. Let's bring in a couple of additional gentlemen to talk about this. Retired Navy Commander John B. Wells, who's the Executive Director of Military Veterans Advocacy, and Matthew Hill, who is the attorney representing Robert Gray. Matthew, according to the VA, Navy vets are excluded from Agent Orange claims because they were aboard a ship. Now, Robert says he was exposed to it. What is your story legally, Matthew?
Well, our story is Mr. Gray and many others were aboard ships that were in harbors, such as the Name Harbor. And we believe that those harbors are considered to be inland waterways. The swift boats you just referred to, those individuals are granted Agent Orange exposure because they were in inland waterways. And our argument is that a harbor isn't
as Matthew was saying, he believes the harbor is an inland waterway. We'll try to reconnect the Skype there. Let me turn to John B. Wells, the retired Navy commander. John, your take on this and what you've seen both as a naval veteran and the fact that you too, if I'm not mistaken, are also an attorney.
I am certainly an attorney, and I've got to agree with Matt. Those inner harbors are part of the inland waterways. That's been recognized by the United States and really everybody except for the Department of Veterans Affairs. But you know, there's actually more to it. What would happen is the Agent Orange, if it's mixed with petroleum, would float out to sea, then be taken into the shipboard distillation system to produce potable water. And these guys were getting a straight shot of Agent Orange into their potable water, using for drinking, clothes washing, all the things that you use potable water for. Now, as well as the litigation, which Matt has been very good at bringing, we also, Military Veterans Advocacy and the Blue Water Navy Vietnam Veterans Association, have other litigation looking at the entire VA interpretation of the regulations, as well as legislation. We currently have legislation in the House, H.R. 969, with 214 co-sponsors and a companion bill in the Senate. We're very hopeful that if the VA does not act, and I hope they do act, to correct this injustice, that Congress will act.
Well, we will see what happens in Congress. Matt Hill, I understand you're back with us 15 seconds. Are you confident that you can have success in court on behalf of Robert Gray?
Well, we want an initial step and that was to get benefits or to get them to send it back to the VA. So now, as the commander said, it's up to us to push it hard in the VA and through Congress. So,
And as a recovering member of Congress, I understand the importance of that. Matt Hill, John B. Wells, and Robert Gray.